सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। Last time when we met here 2 Sundays before, we were studying verses 10 and 11 of the 5th chapter, Brahmanyadhaya Karmani. If you dedicate all actions to the divine and do all these actions, you remain untainted by the action, like a lotus leaf in water or by water. Atmapatramivamhasa. And then in the 11th verse, Krishna said, Kayena manasa buddhya kevalairinriyairapi yogina karma kuruvanti sangam tyakva atmashuddhaye. Yogis perform action. What kind of action? He says, Kayena, with the body. Manasa, with the mind. Buddhya, with the buddhi. That means every type of activity is included there. And also, kevalairinriyairapi, even with these sense organs, yogina karma kurvanti. Yogis perform action. Sangam tyaktva, giving up attachment. The biggest thing is attachment. We often confuse attachment with unconcerned attitude. That's not correct. When you are detached, your concern for others remains. That's a wonderful idea. Love and attachment are not same. Attachment makes you blind. You can't see any other aspects of things except what you dictate a thing to be. It is just like father telling the son, you must do what I tell you to do. If you do anything else, I am not interested in you. That is a product of attachment. But if there is love, you give freedom to the individual. You are free to follow what you think best. I give you my advice, but I give you my love all the time. This is a tremendous difference between attachment and love. Love frees both. Attachment binds both. Extremely narrow it becomes. I have seen several cases, they have come to me, tremendous attachment, and the result is they cannot help the son doing what he thinks best for himself. And it has nothing to do with you, the father will say. And then a separation, and the father and mother suffering all the time. My son is gone away from me. Because of attachment, he or she never gave freedom to the other individual. You can persevere, you can argue. They are not children. This distinction, when people realize, they will be more happy in family life and also interpersonal relationships. Love people. Don't expect them to follow what you think best for them. They have their own thinking. They have their own evaluation. So here, sangam tyaktva, giving up attachment. Then only pure love comes. When attachment is here, there is no love. Just blindness, that's all. If you do what I tell you to do, I am concerned with you. Otherwise, I am not concerned with you. Even yesterday, a young man came. Parents refused to take him back home because he married somebody. He needs their help now. but they won't. We can see the result of attachment, blind, narrowing one's area of sympathy, but Krishna teaches only detachment. Love can flow from you when you are truly detached. That lesson we have to learn in a big way. Then everybody is free. Nobody is a slave to somebody else. What a beautiful idea of life. Being free, being free. Sangam Chetva. They perform actions with the body, with the senses, with the mind, with the buddhi. For what purpose? Atma Shuddhaye. To purify oneself. With this pure mind only we can realize the truth. Let us purify this mind. The mind which is the only instrument we have in dealing with the world or in dealing with spiritual life. Keep that mind fresh, pure, strong. That is one great lesson Vedanta, and it emphasizes again and again. I have told in one Sunday lecture here how every day, in every action, every human situation, we can train this mind to become freer, purer, nobler. That is how life has to be utilized. So that we don't become a squeezed orange at the end of life. We become full. We become fulfilled in the true sense of the term. So in verse 11, we have this statement, Kayera manasa buddhya kevalai indriyairapi yogina karma puruvanti sangam tetva atma shuddhaye, to purify oneself. Now we come to the next verse, verse 12. Yukta karma phalam tetva shanti mapnoti naishtikim ayukta kamakarena phale satto nibadhyate. Two types of people, the yukta and the ayukta. Those who have entered the path of yoga, of inner discipline, to realize the truth that is hidden, such people are called yukta. The other people are called ayukta. So, how does a yukta fare in this path? Yukta karma phalam tyatva. He renounces the fruits of action. Yoga teaches him how to renounce the fruits of actions and do actions also. Then he says, Shanti Mapnoti Naishtikim. Through such a method, he attains Shanti, peace, Naishtikim, steady. Based upon that particular spiritual practice that he does, he gets peace of mind. That is called the Yukta. Yukta, Karma Phalam Tyatva, Shanti Mapnoti, Naishtikim. The other one, Ayukta, Kamakarena, impelled by sensory pulls and desires. Kamakarena, Phale Satto, becomes attached to the fruits of actions. Whatever fruits come, I must get. That kind of attitude. Phale Satto, attached to the fruits of actions. Nibadhyate, he becomes bound. He becomes thoroughly unfree. He cannot get freedom. The other is freedom, this is unfreedom. So two types of people. And man is free to choose that path or this path, the yogi path or the ayogi path. It is meant for all. But the choice is individuals. Nobody can be forced to choose these paths. So, these two types we can see in the world. But the second type, ayogi, ayukta, they have increased all over the world. Increased in India also. Karma phale satto, attached to karma phala. Nibadhyate, bound. He doesn't realize he is bound. That is one tragedy. Those who are bound do not realize they are bound. If they realize it, then only they will try to remove that bondage. But they are happy with that bondage. They think this is the normal way. Many people today belong to this category. In one of his very beautiful parables, Sri Ramakrishna illumines this subject. There are 4 types of human beings, Ramakrishna said: Baddha, Mumukshu, Mukta, Nitya Mukta. 4 types of human beings. Baddha means the bound. Mumukshu means bound but struggling to be free. That's the second type. Baddha, Mumukshu. Then Mukta, free. By the struggle he has achieved freedom. And the 4th category is Nitya Mukta, always free, never got into bondage at all. These are the 4 types. And Sri Ramakrishna gives an illustration. When the fisherman cast the net into the lake to catch fish, many fish are clever enough never to come into the net. They are the Nitya Muktas, Ramakrishna said, ever free. But quite a good bit are caught. Among those, some are struggling to get out. They know something is wrong. They have been caught in some net. So you can see fish struggling to get out. Among those who struggle, they are called, the struggling one is called the Mumukshu, the second type. Knowing there is bondage and desiring to free from bondage, they struggle. They are called Mumukshus. Among many who struggle, a few fish escape, jumping out of the net. And the fisherman will say, oh, that fellow is gone. That fellow is free. I cannot catch him now. So that is the Mukta, free. But there is one set of fish who never feel they are in bondage. They bite the net and nicely live under the mud, thinking they are safe, they are safe, they are safe. Within a few moments, they will be taken away by the fishermen and sold away in the market. They are called the Baddha, the bound, never realizing that bondage has come. Happy with the bondage, thinking nothing wrong is going to happen to me. These are the 4 types of human beings: Baddha, Mumukshu, Mukta, Nitya Mukta. Pointing to Vivekananda, Narendra, sitting there, he belongs to the Nitya Mukta class. No Maya can catch him. He is ever free. It's a beautiful idea. The Divine Mother casts her net of Maya to catch people. All people she could catch in her net, not these few, those who are eternally free. And we belong to those whom she has caught us in the net. But we can struggle and try to overcome. That is spiritual life. That's a very illuminating parable to deal with this subject of this Yukta and Ayukta. Yukta karma phalam tetva shanti mapnoti naishtigil. He achieves real peace of mind. Because he is free, he has given up all attachments. Whereas Ayukta, the Ayogi, what happens to him? Kamakarena, he is carried away by external pressures and pulls. He has to stay in the matter, he is never free. Hare Sakto, he is attached to the immediate fruit of actions. Nibadhyate, he is bound thereby. His vision is stopped. He can see only a few feet ahead. What you call, in English, the tyranny of the immediate present. We have got the tyranny of the immediate present. What happens tomorrow, day after, they are not concerned. Now I want. So no foresight, no foresight, which is the special gift of man. They don't exercise it. I want immediately. That's all, nothing more. And so, this type of people, when they increase in a society, that society goes down. all values disappear from that society. We are passing through that stage. It is this we have to reverse. If the Gita becomes universally understood and a struggle ensues in us to live according to it, more and more people will come to that free state, that yogi state. We have to create more yogis in society, not yogis somewhere in the Himalayas, a minority of ascetics. No, the citizen yogi. Citizenship itself is a type of yoga. The citizen yogi is more important today. Millions of them. That's why this kind of classification Krishna has given. They work, they run institutions, they run organizations, they work in factories, offices, everywhere. But their mind is being trained to pursue the path of yoga. Through all this, they are advancing step by step towards their own spiritual growth and fulfillment. That's the type of humanity on the march, an inward march towards the divine that is within all. So this is a type that can create great culture, that can create great harmony in society, lesser crime, lesser delinquency, lesser exploitation. You will have when this type of people increase in a society. That is called social progress. We have made a big mistake in evaluating social progress as better food, better dress, better conveyances, better houses, better this, better that. What about better men, better women? We never considered that. We want more and more and more of comfort and pleasure. But what is the type of people who are there? As a Goldsmith, British poet, said in the 18th century England, ill fares the land, to hastening ills a prey, where wealth accumulates and men decay. Wealth has accumulated in India. Plenty of money here, there, mostly black money, plenty. And you can see how it is being spent. But the type of men and women, that type has gone down. No compassion, no spirit of service or dedication to the welfare of the nation. Such people increase in the society when this struggle is removed from the mind of man. Let me be better. Let me be better. There is always a better in human life. This mind has to be trained. Let me do so. This kind of thinking, which is true education. Training of the mind is true education. Becoming truly free is true education. Illumined, that is education. The shloka you recite in the beginning, Om Sahanavavatav Sahanavavatu, there you will find there. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Let us get energy out of our education. Viryam. Not only so. Tejasvinau Atikitamastu. Let us become illumined as a result of this study. So energy and illumination. Both must come through education. Then only a nation becomes great. Therefore, these ideas have intimate relevance to our life today. Something has gone wrong. Humanity has lost the way. It has to be brought back the correct way. Then advance. Go ahead. Uttishtata, Jagrata, we can say to everyone. And so, whenever we lose our way, we come back to the main road. Then rediscover the true way. That is the purpose of any kind of teaching in India today. We have so much to achieve, so much to learn. And then to carry humanity to high levels. Vivekananda spoke of India as this great national ship of ours, this Indian nation, in the Madras lecture, Colombo to Almora lectures. My dear friends, this national ship, this nation of ours, has carried millions of souls to blessedness through hundreds of centuries. Today, it has sprung a leak. Something has gone wrong with it. Shall we condemn it? Never. It has done immense good to the world. Let us take our brain and make a plug of it and stop the hole. That is a great message he has given to us. Something is wrong with the nation. I am here to correct it. I am going to make the brain into a plug and put it there. That leak will be stopped. Nation will continue to march on. The ship will continue to move. That language he has used. Don't curse your state. Don't curse your nation. It has done more good to the world than many nations in the world. Have that faith. And today something is wrong. We shall correct it. We are his children. And he has to come to tell you how we can do all this. That is how he ends that great lecture in Madras nearly 100 years ago, 1897. What foresight he had to see the new development that will come, how to guide it in the right direction. The Gita gives us that philosophy of action, of endeavor, of collective life, how to build up a new India, stronger, purer than what we inherited from the past. So, Sarvakarmani Manasa, the next sloka says, 13. Sanyasyaste sukham vashi, navadvare pure dehi, naiva kurvan nakareyanya. Sarvakarmani Manasa Sanyasya, pronouncing all actions mentally. Actually you are doing. Mentally you renounce all these actions. That's the meaning of detachment. When you detach, you renounce actions mentally. And yet you are working. You are doing everything. Sarvakarmani Manasa Sanyasya. Aste. He remains. Sukham. Very happy. Vashi. The self-controlled man. Vasha and Vashi. Apna Vash mein, I mean, my mind is in my control. My senses are in my control. That person is called Vashi. Everybody must be a Vashi. Every human being must be a Vashi. Animals alone are not Vashi. We have control over our senses to some extent. We have to increase it a little more so that we know when to say, when not to say. This kind of discrimination comes to us by training. Such a person remains sukham, happily, without tension, without peacelessness. Why? In this body. He remains in this body. How? There is Navadvare Pure Dehi, Naiva Kurvan Nakarayan. Neither acting nor making others act. He remains within this body. And the body is compared to a city, a peculiar city, which has 9 gateways, Navadvara. 9 gateways. Such a city is this human body, in which this self is living, absolutely peaceful, doing all the work, no tension, no fear, no unfulfillment. This conception of the body as a dwelling place, like a house, like a city, in the Upanishad it comes. Gita also refers to it here. We are not the body, we live in the body. Navadvare Pure Dehi. This has 9 dwaras, gateways to come and go. 7 in the head, 2 below. These are the 9 dwaras according to the Gita. In the Upanishad, it is referred to as 11 dwaras, including the navel as well as the Brahmarantra, the capital of the head. That is 11. Here it is 9. So, Navadvare Pure Dehi. Dehi. One who lives in the Deha is called a Dehi, the embodied one. I am not the body. I live in the body. I am not the house. I live in the house. The body is like a house to us. That's why we have to keep it clean. That's why, unlike our recent misunderstanding, neglect of the body is never allowed in Vedanta. Just like neglecting your house. If you don't keep it clean, If you don't repair it, maintenance you do not do. But cracking here and there, that's a bad house to live in and dangerous also. So also the body. Take care of the body. The house in which you live, keep it clean, but don't get attached to it. Body is only a vantage, platform you can go out and do your work and come. So also is the house in which you live. Don't get tied to the house. When you are tied to the house becomes a prison. You are not free to come in, not free to go out. That's called a prison. That's how people in the jails and prisons, they live there. They are not free to come, free to go. Their house becomes a prison. If our body also becomes a prison, that will be very unhappy. Don't make the body a prison. Be free. You can come out, you can go in freely. What a beautiful idea of human life. So, Navadvare, Pure, Dehi, this embodied self lives in this 9-gated city called the body. Naiva Kuruvan Nakariyanna. He doesn't do, he doesn't make others do, and yet lot of work is going on. What a beautiful idea. As I said earlier, Chinese thought stresses this point. Without doing any action, you are able to produce results. That action is mental. Mentally he is free. Physically he is acting plenty. Therefore he is free from action. That is a big mystical thought in China as well as in Japan. Without excitement, without tension, without noise, without fuss, when you work with a calm mind, it is as good as non-acting. This can be done. And the whole teaching of the Gita regarding work is this: act without fuss, live without fuss. Fussy action, fussy living is no living at all. So that can be done by training the mind in calmness, in perfect self-control and self-possession, aligning it with the Atman, into the true nature, and that's doing all the work. All these verses refer to this tremendous possibility in all of us by training our minds according to the teachings given in the Gita, Karma Yoga. Karma in the light of Yoga. Therefore it is called Karma Yoga. Mere karma, without any yoga, that we all do. Animals also do, men and women also do, but only human beings can train themselves in doing karma in the light of yoga. That is the beginning. From second chapter, Krishna has started this wonderful new philosophy. Work without attachment. With that particular type of attitude, Buddhi Yoga, that type of Buddhi which is sama, equal, without any ups and downs in the Buddhi. Work is full of up and down, Buddhi is absolutely free. This is possible. So Buddhi Yukto, if you have that Buddhi, you are in the Karma Yoga field. That is how it began in the second chapter. It's being expanded. Chapter after chapter, we have come to the fifth chapter. It is being enriched by new ideas. Navadvare Pure Dehi Naiva Kuruvan Nakarayanna. Now comes a very beautiful idea of Vedanta. Nakartrutvam Nakarmani Lokasya Srijati Prabhu Nakarmaphala Samyogam Svabhavastu Pravartate. The divine personality, the supreme divine being, did not prescribe any action, nakartritvam, what you call agency. Kartritva means I am the agent of this action. That state is called kartritvam. Nakarmani, these are my actions. Neither of this was prescribed by the divine, by God, to humanity. Then how does this action goes on? How does it go on? Svabhavastu pravartate. Nature impels every one of us to act this way, that way. As in the case of the animals, our case also the same. Nature that is impelling us, nature that is outside, has found a place within us also. Man is an outpost of external nature in many respects. Our digestive system, our reactions are all just like nature outside. Same thing is here. So, Svabhavastu pravartate. Svabhava is acting in you and me. Here, Svabhava means nature. That plain nature outside. We eat, we drink, we have rearing of families. All this we do. All that is Svabhava is acting through the human being. God did not tell me to do this or that. This is the language. The divine did not tell you to do this and that. But this Svabhava called nature has entered into us. Our constitution includes a bit of that nature. Impelled by it, we do all these things. That is the truth about man. I had occasion to refer to Carl Jung's book, the famous Zurich psychologist, Modern Man in Search of a Soul. He also makes a distinction between our actions impelled by nature and our actions impelled by our own higher nature. That higher nature takes you beyond all these natural propensities. He calls it culture, and he calls this mere achievement. When you follow nature, when you follow Svabhava, you are in the field of achievement. When you express your own true nature, beyond the external nature that is implanted in you, then you become free. Then you develop your mind, your culture. You are able to advance spiritually. That language he had used in that book. Here Krishna clearly puts it. Svabhavastu pravartate. Svabhava is acting in all of us. Just like somebody abused me, I immediately give him a slap. What has happened? Svabhava has acted in me. I have another Svabhava, I can check it. That Svabhava is quiet, silent, not functioning yet. Everything is Svabhava, Svabhava, Svabhava. Raw nature functioning in you and me. The other is my own nature as the Atman, helping me to check all this and make it behave in a better way. This second nature must find expression. Most people, only the first nature is here. The external nature which has come to us in our physiology, anatomy, neurology, and even psychology. Much of our psyche is controlled by nature outside. So this is a fact to be understood. Man is a combination of two natures, the external nature and some higher nature. These two are there. The higher nature is absolutely quiescent. It cannot express itself because the other nature is very dominant here. That is ordinary human life, out of which will come crime, delinquency, this, that, everything. But whenever that nature is slowly controlled and the higher nature finds manifestation, then slowly culture comes. We evolve into better human beings. Real civilization itself is the product of a little dominance of this higher nature over that lower nature. This is the meaning of Krishna telling us here, na kartrutvam, na karmani, lokasya srujati prabhu. Prabhu, the divine master of the world, did not prescribe either agency of action or action to any individual here. Then he says, na karmapana samyogam, nor bringing the fruit of action in connection with the action. Action producing fruit, that connection also he has not prescribed. Then how is it going on? Svabhavastu pravartate. Svabhava is acting. Svabhava is acting. Having said this, the lesson that we have to learn, that Svabhava, which is external nature, which has found enlargement in my system, I shall control it, I shall go beyond it by expressing my true nature. Because I am a combination of both. What they call in Vedantic language, Chit Jada Grandhi. Man is a combination of Chit and Jada. Chit means consciousness. Jada means inert nature. Both are there in a human being. In external nature it is all Jada. But when you come to man, you are in the realm of consciousness as well. And that too, a higher form of consciousness called self-consciousness. Consciousness of the self. I. No animal can say I. Only man can have this awareness of the subject. And the subject, not the object. That's why we are asked to treat every human being as a subject and never an object. Generally, when you exploit others, we treat them as objects. But when moral sense comes, everybody must be treated as a subject. I am a subject, you are also a subject. I treat you as a subject and not an object. That's called moral sense. To see a subject in a social object is called moral sense. Man is a social object, unlike tables and chairs. They are material objects. This man therefore is a uniqueness because he has a subjective attitude also, subjective dimension also. So treat him as a subject and never always as an object. That is in Kant's treatment of the ethics. You will find this idea given there. Don't treat any individual as an object, but as a subject. If you treat as an object, it must be mutual. Mutually you can treat each other as objects, there is no harm. But always, never forget that she is essentially a subject. That's called ethical sense according to Kant and according to Vedanta. So, na karma phara samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. Svabhava is acting. Let us realize this truth. Let us try to dominate that svabhava that is there. That is the jada svabhava that is there. This is chit svabhava as consciousness, self-consciousness, wonderful dimension which gave man dominance over the world outside. Let us realize what it means. What are its dimensions? Try to manifest it. That is called man's cultural, spiritual evolution. Out of that will come tremendous peace and harmony in the world. Man will be the savior of the whole world. Otherwise, if subject to only Svabhava within him, he will as well be the author for destroying the whole of nature and the whole of man. That's the situation in the world today. Most people are subject to Svabhava. They want to live according to that Svabhava. What I refer to in American youthful philosophy as impulse release philosophy. Release all the impulses as they come. Don't check them, don't discipline them. That Svabhava must work freely. That is dangerous philosophy. That is going on now. We have to reverse it. Let the other Svabhava begin to function in you. There is something tremendous in you. You are free. You are free. Nature is not free. You are free. You are a mixture of freedom and unfreedom. Assert the freedom in you. That's how Vedanta tells people, don't take things as they are. You can make them better. There's a progress from this to that. You can be the architect of your own destiny. No animal can be architect of its own destiny. Nature is the architect there. In our case, Svabhava is not the architect. Nature is not the architect. We are the architect. We can reshape our life. This must be constantly kept in view. Because we forgot it after independence. Nature is acting in its own way in India. Raw humanity. Just selfish, quarreling, fighting, killing, everything just as we do in wild nature. That is a great misfortune. Man's dignity doesn't find expression there. I can easily kill a man, or if you are also a cannibal, eat him also. Cannibals eat each other. But in civilization at least, we don't eat each other. Vivekananda said, The old cannibals ate each other. Today we do not eat each other, but we cheat each other. The same cannibalism in a new way. That is to go. How? When you free yourself from that svabhava. That svabhava just got into your psychophysical system, beyond which is the Atman. That Atman finds no expression in you. Try to find expression. A little expression is there. When the baby develops consciousness of I want it, I want it. That I is the tip of a tremendous rock that is below the water level. Only the tip you see, that's all we consider as I. But that is not the dimension. This dimension is infinite. That I is one with all. That is the truth that is going to be told to us a few shlokas later. That this concept of yoga will lead you to that realization. We are essentially one. There is only one Atman in all of us. That truth is going to come. And therefore, let this I be treated as the tip of a big rock. Most of it is hidden under the water. Unless you probe deeper, you won't see its dimension. But we see it only as a tip of a rock, subject to the pressures of the body-mind complex. That's the little ego that creates all the mischief in human life. Treat it as a simple initial datum. Try to find its true dimension. As you begin to inquire into it, you find the ego is expanding, expanding, expanding. I am one with all. What I thought to be a tiny little thing is infinite in dimension. We are essentially all one. Then something great will happen. That is how this chapter is going to give us a profound message of equality. How we live in society as the equal of all. What a beautiful concept. Equality is a tremendous concept. We are one, we are equal. So that is being given to us in a few verses later by this very chapter. So, na karma phala samyogam sabhavastu pravartate. Sabhava does all the things. It is working all the time. Therefore, you take account of your own true dimension and take from Sabhava the work that she does. Put it to yourself. In this way, you will be able to achieve your own expansion and development, and the work will go on. Sabhava will do all this, but you are the presiding officer to guide the Sabhava. You don't do. Nature does it, but you are the real master behind the show. You are not a servant of that Sabhava. That is how we combine activity and detachment from all activity. Though acting, we are not acting. What a beautiful idea. In the Stavaka Gita, there is a shloka which says that Pravrittirapi dhirasya nivrittirupajayate. The pravritti of a dhira is as good as nivritti. The activities of a dhira, a wise man, is just like inactivity. Whereas nivrittirapi mudhasya pravritti phalabhagini. A foolish man says, I do nothing, let me keep quiet. But he is full of pravritti. Though he thinks he is enjoying nivritti, he is actually having got into the mesh of pravritti all the time. Dhira and mudha. Two words are used there. A man who realizes this truth, he will be acting, he will be working, because he has a servant, this Sabhava. He is the master, he keeps quiet. In this body, it is 9 holes, without doing, without causing anything to do. This concept is wonderful, which can be experimented in day-to-day life and found to be true. This is why all these teachings are not just like a dogma. You take this, you do this, a few do's and don'ts. Not at all. This is meant to be thought about, meant to be applied, meant to be checked up, meant to be verified. Verifiable science is the science of yoga in the Gita. That is what we are asked to do. Let me see how this will function. In my case, there is no mystery, absolutely no mystical ideas here. Everything is clear, dealing with man, his possibilities, and how we can unfold these possibilities. So in the next sloka, Krishna continues this idea, Nadatte kasyajit papam nachaiva sukritam vipuhu ajnane navrutam jnanam tena mukhyanti yantavaha. What a wonderful idea. This Vibhu, divine master of the universe, he does not take the sins of anybody nor the merits of anybody. Nadatte kasyajit papam. He doesn't take the papam, the sins of what humanity does. Nachaiva sukritam. Nor whatever good things they are doing. But what is the actual situation? Ajnanena avrutam jnanam. Jnana is hidden by ajnana. Tena mukhyanti yantavaha. Thereby, these beings are deluded. That is the situation. Our jnana is lying hidden by ajnana. That makes us deluded. And we function in that deluded state. That's what we are every day. So this was referred to in the 3rd chapter, toward the end, dealing with the cause of crime in society, where also Krishna had said, Ajnana covers jnana. Just like ashes cover fire. You find no fire at all. Fire is there, but covered by ashes. Remove the ashes, put a few faggots, you find again the flame coming. So also, this ajnana, which is hiding. Jnana means being subject to that svabhava. That state is called ajnana. Just like animals are ajnana. They are all subject to that svabhava or that nature. But in our case, we can redeem ourselves. We can manifest the jnana that is within. That effort is being referred to. But at present, ajnane navrutam jnanam. Jnanam is covered over by ajnana. Tena mukhyanti yantavaha. Thereby, beings are deluded. When there is ajnana, there is delusion. When there is jnana, there is no delusion at all. We see things clearly. Just like when you drive in a foggy weather, you can't see your way. That's called ajnana. That's why delusion. So many accidents can take place. I remember my being taken from Paris airport to our ashrama in Gretz, 29 kilometers in some February month also. So thick, you can't see 1 inch ahead of you. And the road is small. How slowly we had to go to avoid any kind of accident. So this ajnana is like that fog. You can't see the way at all. Tena mukhyanti jantavaha. That is the sloka where Krishna is expressing this idea of jnana covered by ajnana. But will it remain like this all the time? No. We can lift the fog. We can remove that ajnana. That is the text. The next sloka. It says, Jnanena tu tapajnanam yesham nashatam atmanaha tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati tatparam. What beautiful ideas. What beautiful illustrations you find here. When that ajnana is overcome by jnana, destroyed by jnana, nashatam atmanaha, for oneself, I have destroyed my ajnana by my jnana. When that happens, tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati. Just like this sun in the sky, covered over by thick clouds, sun is gone. You can't see our way, all cloudy. Then cloud is gone. What happens? The sun is again shining. Sun was there. It was hidden. Similarly here also, jnana reveals to you your own infinite dimension. You are not a chip of that svabhava. There is another profound dimension within you. This truth shines on you when jnana removes ajnana from your system. Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitam, in whom it is destroyed. Atmanaha, in oneself, tesham, to such people, adityavat jnanam prakashayati. Jnana shines like the sun, which appear to have lost its luster. Jnana shines like the sun, which appear to have lost its luster because of the cloud. But now we find sun is still shining. It was shining, it is shining. This cloud could not destroy that, but it could make him invisible. That's all what has happened. In your case also it is the same. Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitam atmanaha tesham adityavat, just like Aditya, like the sun. Jnanam prakashayati. Jnana becomes once again manifest. Prakasha means shines. Till now it was not shining. That fire was not shining. It was under the ashes. But when you remove the ashes, put a few fagots, again the fire flame forth. That is our nature. We are essentially pure and free. We are of the nature of pure consciousness. We are of the nature of light, the light of consciousness. That is our nature. But when we are deluded, that light becomes dim and we do all sorts of evil. Remove that delusion, remove that ajnana, then jnana shines in its own splendor. That wonderful splendor is there in you, in me, in all. Even in the animals it is there. Vedanta speaks of the Atman present, even the tiniest worm, it is there. But that body won't be able to discover this truth. Only in the human body this truth can be sought after and discovered. That is the uniqueness of man. And so, this idea of infinite Atman as our true nature, we are striving to understand that truth. The bhava is controlling us, nature is restraining us all the time. We develop additional strength to overcome that drag of Svabhava on you. Then you realize that ajnana is gone, jnana has come. Like the sun shining when the clouds have been parted. That is what is happening to you and to me in all our spiritual, moral, ethical development. Tatparam, when we are attuned to that divine reality, that slowly removes the ignorance that is there, hiding the jnana. Ajnana hiding the jnana by making our mind attuned to the divine that is within. This is a profound truth. So man is able to overcome ajnana and realize jnana and realize one's own true nature thereby. That is the beautiful verse, verse 16. Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitam atmanah tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati tatparam. Devoted to that. This will come in a full verse, one or two verses later. This word tatparam, wonderful verse is coming. Complete dedication to that divine truth that is hidden within you. That will be expounded in a verse coming within a few verses. So, this is the great truth about man. We call it the science of human possibilities. Just like the science of physical possibilities we have. That is physical science. This is the science of human possibilities. This wonderful man can achieve such great heights. That little baby can become tomorrow a Muhammad Ali or an Einstein or a Buddha. All that possibility is sleeping in every human child. We have to help it to unfold these possibilities. That's what jnana. Man alone has jnana. Animal jnana is centered in the sensory system, never beyond it. You can see in the behavior of all animals, what the Devi Mahatmyam, the great book said, Jnanamasti samastasya jantor vishayagochare. Samasta jantoho, of all beings, their jnana functions only at the sensory level. The bird can look and find out where is its prey. Also, other animals can do the same. All at the sensory level, never at the higher level. In man alone we can go beyond sensory level and discover knowledge in its true form. That is jnana. Ethical, moral, spiritual, all these values come from that development. That is the beautiful idea. In the next few verses, this idea will be developed still further, and that new idea will be added. The spirit of equality, equal-mindedness, quality of vision. That is a great message of this 5th chapter. That is coming within a few verses. We shall take up this next Sunday when we meet here.